I'm Rosanna Scotto. Don't you go anywhere. Profiles is coming up.
Welcome to Profiles. I'm Jeanette Ng. Today's guest is broadcast journalist Rosanna Scotto. Since 1986, Fox 5 News has been her home. Recently, Rosanna moved over to the morning in an effort to improve sagging ratings for Good Day New York. Thus far, the move seems to have worked, as Scotto continues to be popular amongst New York viewers. After a short break, we'll join our host, Mickey Burns, as he welcomes news anchor Rosanna Scotto to Profiles. Welcome back to Profiles. Rosanna Scotto grew up in an Italian-American family in Dyker Heights, Brooklyn. Her connection and loyalty to the city have made her arguably the most popular anchor in the Big Apple for nearly 25 years. Along the way, Scotto has received a host of honors and awards that have included 3 Emmys for anchoring Fox 5 News at 10 and Good Day New York. So let's join our host, Mickey Burns, on location at Asford and Simpson Sugar Bar in the heart of New York City as he welcomes Rosanna Scotto to Profiles.
Good morning, I'm Greg Kelly. It is Friday, October 17th.
I'm Rosanna Scotto. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a jam-packed show. Dolly Lenz talking about the real estate market here in New York. A lot of stuff going on.
She is a superstar, folks. Also, it is cold outside a little bit. Mike Woods has the forecast.
Rosanna Scotto, welcome to our show Profiles.
Mickey, it's so nice to see you again. Remember when we used to work together out in the field?
I do, and I'm going to talk about that in a bit because I have some very strong remembrances of our experiences together. But
Don't
right
scare
now,
me.
I won't. But right now I want to talk about your current position, which is obviously, we all know, you moved over to Good Day New York
yeah.
from the 10 o'clock news.
Can you imagine? I've been doing the 10 o'clock news for over 20 years.
I know that.
And I get called into the boss's office and they say, hey, what do you think about doing Good Day New York? I said, are you crazy? You know, I've gone 20 years without setting the alarm clock.
It's unbelievable.
And now I'm getting up at 4:30 in the morning and loving it. I'm having a ball.
Now, it's also been well documented that the ratings with you and Ernie Anastas for the 10 o'clock news were extraordinary. And at the same time, the Good Day ratings were struggling a bit. And when I read that, I said, by moving you to the morning, isn't the network kind of risking damaging one newscast to help another or to fix another?
Well, I brought that up as well. But Ernie is a powerhouse. He's a legend in New York City. And he is holding down the fort, and the ratings for the 10 o'clock news are doing great.
Sure.
Good Day New York. We are working on them. We're starting to see the numbers start to move.
Yeah.
Words coming out that, you know, it's a different show.
Yep.
Because for a while there, people tuned out. It wasn't the show that they saw originally.
Right.
We're getting back to its New York roots again.
Yes, you're bringing that New York flavor. Now, upon making the switch, you said, will I make a difference? I don't know, but I'm going to try my hardest to make a change. You went on to say, I will stand on my head and spit chiclets if it'll help.
Right.
And I've seen you do that, so you haven't spit the
Don't
chiclets.
say, you've seen other things too, Mickey, when we've been out in the field together. But you know, chiclets, can you buy them in the candy stores anymore?
I don't know.
But it's a very Brooklyn thing. They're bubble gum or gum that were very tiny, and we used to spit them as we were growing up.
They were big. So basically, what's been the toughest adjustment for you coming from the 10 o'clock news to Good Day New York in the morning?
Well, the hour. I mean, that is the biggest thing. I mean, really trying to discipline yourself. Get to bed 9:30 at night, and then get up at 4:30. Wow. And you really have to have your marbles. Your brain and your tongue have to connect by 7 a.m.
You got to be up.
You've got to be up. And so when I get to work, I study, research, and then when I go on the air, I forget it. It's in the back of my mind, and I'm having fun. The other difference is that it's not a script. 10 o'clock news, you're given words, you read it every night, you react here and there, very little improvisation.
Sure.
Good Day New York, all improvisation. And you have to be careful because sometimes you can say something that you regret later.
Yeah. Do you think the informality of the morning show suits your personality better?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
you know,
so,
it's
too.
funny because years ago when my kids were younger,
Yeah.
I had gone into them and said, take me off the 10 o'clock news, I want to do Good Day New York. and they were reluctant to do it at that time. But I thought that I would like a freer type show. I like doing the interviews. I like doing the newsmakers, and I like cooking.
And you like the interactive stuff.
I do.
Yeah. Now, at the very beginning of your career, I read that you worked for a Ted Turner station in Atlanta. What was that early experience like for you?
Well, I just graduated college, Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C., and I moved to Ted Turner Station in Atlanta, Georgia. I was probably the only dark-haired, dark-eyed girl with a Brooklyn accent in Atlanta. I stuck out like a sore thumb. I took a low-entry job, which was get my foot in the door.
And you did.
It was a non-union shop. So I started off as a chyron operator. Now, I know you know what that means. But when you look at the TV screen and you see sports scores or somebody's name, that's a chyron. That's what a chyron operator does.
And that's where you started.
That's where I started. I was terrible at it. I screwed up the sportscaster scores on a daily basis. But then I moved on to researcher, field producer, reporter, until I worked my way back to New York.
And you did. In 1986, as a matter of fact, you came back to little work at ABC, and then Channel 5 in 1986. You've been there since. That's uncommon, I think, in this industry to be at one place for so long. What do you attribute the longevity of Fox to?
You know, when I think about how long I've been there,
Long time.
I'm shocked. How could that be? My longevity is that I really love to work. I come to work with great enthusiasm every day. I want to make my mark. I'm not there just to skate through the day. And I think because I show that enthusiasm, it's contagious, and they know that I'm a hard worker. My reputation is I rarely call in sick. That may piss off some people, but I don't like to call in sick unless I'm really sick. You know, and so I have a good work ethic, and I think that's what helped me stay alive.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned at the top of the show that you and I had worked together many years ago. Let me refresh your memory.
Oh, no. Don't bring up anything bad. Because we had a few times, Mickey, in that crew car.
And back then, as you mentioned, I was part of the camera crew, and you were a cub reporter pretty much. And we were in Brooklyn covering a story about regarding health concerns about eating fish caught in the waters around Brooklyn.
Good memory.
I remember it like it was yesterday, because a lot of the people that you interviewed said, oh, nothing wrong with me, and I've been eating this fish for 20 years. They didn't have any teeth, but they felt
and they
great.
were deformed.
But it was a great story, and I also remember the day we covered that story. You were 8 months pregnant, and I remember saying to myself, this lady is tough.
I don't know if you remember, but I had morning sickness throughout my pregnancy.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would have to eat a lot. Well, that was my excuse, 60 pounds. And what would happen is I would get sick a lot. And sometimes, like in the middle of the story, I'd ask the crew to pull over so I could, you know, vomit on the side of the road. Sometimes when I was anchoring on the weekends, in between commercials, I'd run out to the bathroom. But I stayed on the job until I dropped.
You worked right up until you gave birth. It was incredible. I remember that.
And I hope that my kids have that kind of work ethic. It's hard. It's a different generation.
Yes, it is.
But I hope that by example that they see that they got to find something that they love and really give it their all.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with much more on Profiles with Rosanna Scotto after these important announcements. Welcome back to Profiles. I'm Jeanette Eng. Besides her ongoing career at Fox 5, Rosanna Scotto, along with her mother Marion, sister Elena, and brothers John and Anthony, own and operate the popular restaurant Fresco by Scotto on East 52nd Street in Midtown. Now we know why Scotto is so comfortable with all those cooking segments on Good Day New York. Now back to Mickey Burns with Rosanna Scotto.
And we have some unusual animals from SeaWorld this morning. Do you know what that's called?
I think
a roseate spoonbill.
It looks like a pterodactyl to me.
Not for anything, but that bird was trying to take off before. I am not getting anywhere near this bird. Look, this is what I'm telling you.
But they like to do
I'm
that.
a little nervous.
Does it bite?
Oh, no.
No?
This is Padre. He's a roseate spoonbill.
Yeah. See, he doesn't bite, Mike. You can come back to the studio.